Minister for the Middle East, thank you for joining Jewish Honour magazine. You've certainly got the toughest job in government, haven't you?
It may be one of the toughest jobs in government, but it's also one of the best. I'm dealing with a region of absolutely fascinating issues where people are well informed, they inform me well, and where clearly the consequences of decisions really matter. So if you want to be involved in politics, then you want to be involved in something like this.
And do you think Jerusalem is one of the biggest issues and obstacles to the peace process?
It's of fundamental importance in that because it's clear that each side feels a passion for Jerusalem. I think to believe that it can be uniquely held by one faith is highly unlikely. That's why the British government position is clear that we support a shared Jerusalem. That has to be part of the negotiations of a settlement. It's unlikely to come from imposition, but equally that each side can see that a sharing of Jerusalem is important seems to me fundamental.
And would the British government describe Jerusalem as the capital of Israel?
Well, I think we are conscious of the historic position. We have our embassy based in Tel Aviv, and we're comfortable with that. I mean, we recognise the position of Parliament in Jerusalem and everything else, but we have an issue currently with how East Jerusalem is being handled in relation to settlements and the like. So we're content with the position as it is.
And wouldn't it be fantastic if Jewish people and Muslim people could live wherever they wanted to in Jerusalem, say?
Well, certainly we're looking forward to Jerusalem being a shared capital. We are looking forward to Jerusalem being the unequivocal capital of Israel, accepted by all, and we think that is more likely to come at a time when also Jerusalem is seen as a capital by Palestinians and therefore a shared capital for both. Absolutely, we want a position where people are free to live and comfortable no matter what the administration is. That will take a bit of confidence building on all sides.
And also, it was refreshing to hear this evening that the British government have got alternatives to a two-state solution.
I'm not sure we got alternatives. I think the point I made was that you're interested in anything that comes forward. At present, I should be very clear about it. Whatever alternatives may be out there, we are very focused on direct negotiations between the two sides, and the parameters of the settlement seem reasonably set. That is, 1967 borders as a base, with appropriate land swaps, an agreement in relation to borders, an agreement in relation to refugees and the right of return, and Jerusalem as a shared capital, and fundamentally Israel's security protected by the arrangements on borders. Now, these seem to us to be the parameters. Anybody else can introduce anything into the ideas, and everyone's open to that, but I suspect the answers are likely to be along the lines that we suggested. And last one, if I may.
Okay, fine. Do you think that there should be preconditions in order to start the peace talks?
No, not really. I think at the end of the day, you've got to get the confidence between both sides who are both prepared to sit down together.
But the Palestinian Authority wants conditions on the table, don't they?
What we hear from both sides is that they're prepared to do it without preconditions, but something always comes up, and it's not always just one side rather than the other. I think the process of negotiations, it's being hard worked through by mediators and others. We just want them to take the opportunity to get together. We don't believe there should be preconditions, and we hope that they can find a way through.
And just one more question, Minister, I appreciate your time. Are you optimistic for peace between Israel and its Muslim neighbours and the Palestinian Authority?
I wish I could answer that in a confident yes. I think the circumstances in the region are very tense and very dangerous. I think it would be foolish to be over-optimistic. I think we're very realistic. Sadly, it's always said of the Middle East peace process, whenever you think you've reached rock bottom, there's always a knocking from underneath. There's always lower to go. And if you are not optimistic, you're rarely disappointed. I think what I tried to convey to the meeting was, though, however realistic we are, and we are very realistic, we're not naive about the events in the region, and it is all highly dangerous. To neglect efforts between Israelis and Palestinians would be a mistake, and however difficult it is, if we could find a pathway through there, the ramifications on the region as a whole would be very significant. So yes, it is difficult, but it's very important to try.
Okay, Minister for the Middle East, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.